Thelema itself, again, that kind of discussion of global warming is not really significant within the writings of the Thelemic authors. But again, if you keep in mind how environment affects individual and individual affects environment, there definitely is a relationship there, and magic really brings that to the forefront of the mind of the practitioner. So I would think within that kind of context, global warming and the environment would become very important. Now, as for your discussions of DMT or hallucinogenic drugs and their place within the magical practice, I definitely think that there's a place for that. Crowley talks about it in numerous ways about how various drugs can be used. But the difference is those drugs are used more as a sacrament or used in very specific circumstances. Instead of just, going out and getting screwed up on a particular drug on a Friday night, they were done in very particular contexts within ritual results leading up to the use, during the use, and after the use were recorded, and things were analyzed. So I definitely think that there is an aspect to that. Now, what's interesting about your question, too, is that the last interview I have with Frater W.I.T., he has a particular interest in Timothy Leary hallucinogenic processes and the psychology involved in that. And so we discuss a little bit of the ways magic can get one in a particular mental state that is similar to hallucinogenic substances without actually going through taking the substance itself. And if I recall, Timothy Leary ultimately said that the goal was to be able to achieve those states of consciousness without actually ingesting the chemicals. Now, I'm no Leary expert, and if I'm getting that wrong, I'm certainly sure one of my listeners will correct me, and please feel free to do so. However, if you read Crowley's discussion of drugs, he does see that there's a place for them. But if you use them habitually, casually, it loses the sacred nature, and it really diminishes the contribution to your magical practice. All right. That is all the listener feedback, which was a good amount, and I thank everybody for sending it. And I hope now that the podcast 41 is out that I will get some more. Also, I would really welcome people's follow-up ideas, questions, and comments to the listener feedback here. So what we're going to do is we're now going to go into the interview with Jon Sewell, and he is putting on the Rite of Venus in Seattle and Portland, and so he's going to talk a little bit about that. So here's Jon. We have on the phone with us Jon Sewell. Are you there, Jon?
I'm here.
93, welcome to the podcast.
93.
Now, when you were last on the podcast, you were promoting a show that you were doing, the Rite of Luna, and now you are actually promoting the Rite of Venus. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about what you're doing with the Rite of Venus?
Well, the Rite of Venus, obviously one of Crowley's 7 rites of Eleusis, and we have adapted it once again as a musical theater piece. This time we have included a lot more sort of a techno music and lots of belly dance and Middle Eastern themes because, it's a nice flavor for Venus. We've had a great time working with it. We've worked with some really, really talented individuals, and we will be staging in Portland and Seattle, and the soundtracks are already available through our website.
All right. So the last one you did, Luna, was a rock opera.
That is correct.
A lot of kind of instrumental rock music. What kind of instrumental music are you doing now? Is it more of an Eastern flair? You were saying kind of belly dancing, or?
It's still rock music. What I actually did is I took traditional Middle Eastern belly dance beats, some of them 6/8 time, 7/8 time, great classic beats, and then I reprogrammed them through a drum machine and sort of used more of a techno sound and used that as the substructure for the musical work. And then used a lot of minor chord scales to create the overall Eastern feel of it. But it's still music. It's still, a lot of it's really danceable. A lot of it's still got a real strong rock feel to it. We did a lot more vocally, too. We have a ensemble of 7 vocalists who work on stage with us besides the main cast members and do some just great harmony work throughout the piece.
So instead of like in Luna where the cast members were the singers, you're also having some people involved who are just singing and not doing any acting?
Well, they're doing a little bit of the acting as well. They are probationers to the Temple of Venus, and so they have some movement and they have some stage blocking, but primarily they're rounding out the vocal work as well.
Are they kind of more like a chorus?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're doing just beautiful work. It's just amazingly talented people.
Now, you said the CD is out, so this is a studio-recorded version of all of the music.
The studio-recorded version is already available through our website, Elusive, that's ELEUSYVE.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will be doing the DVD shortly after we run the show and get it edited. And I think the DVD, the sound quality is going to be even better. We've got some great audio engineers working with us on that, and so it's going to be... What we did production-wise with Luna is really going to improve with Venus because we learned so much along the way.
Right. So where are you going to be presenting it?
We will be opening in a couple of weeks in Portland, June 9th, at the Coho Theater, and Second Mont Lodge has been helping us out with that, and so kudos to them, thanks. And then we will be coming up to Seattle for June 28th, 29th, 30th, and July 6th, 7th, and 8th, and 777 will be a special show. We have an after-party scheduled afterward and some extra stuff that night, so that's going to be a lot of fun. That
sounds fantastic. So what is your overall plan? You've done Luna, you're doing Venus, or is the overall goal to do ultimately a theatrical production, musical production of all 7?
That is my goal, and I've decided that is my life's work. I said, okay, this is my contribution to Western culture. So the next one we'll be doing is Mercury, and we will be tying together what we did in Luna and what we're doing in Venus into a cohesive story through the 3 of them. And then we're probably going to jump up to the top of the tree and start with Saturn and go all the way through Sol, and then we will have all 7. We'll release the box set, and I'll retire. That's kind of an early retirement, don't you think? I mean, you're... Well, it takes about 2 years apiece. Oh, okay. So I'm thinking I have another 10 years worth of work cut out for me. And if I'm retiring on the residuals from this, then I will be living in a cardboard box. But I will probably then stop doing Crowley musicals, although, I may do the ship, who knows. Mm-hmm. But at that point, I may actually go and write something of my own. Oh. Who knows? Who knows? Or, there's lots of other Crowley material that could be adapted, too. And then there's other artists, too. Well, absolutely. Although I have looked at the ship, and I like it, so we'll see. Well, good. So, your website before was kind of like the Rite of Luna, and now it's a different one. Have you created a production company? I mean, it seems you're kind of seeing this in a bigger picture. The Rite of Luna was kind of this one-off thing, and now it's kind of gone into something larger? Well, we've put together the production company mainly because we decided after Luna, we should do all of these. Mm-hmm. Luna was well received. People enjoyed it. We really enjoyed doing it. I mean, it's a stressful process. There's a lot of people involved and schedules and all that, but production is also really enjoyable. You get to hang out with amazingly talented people, and you're involved in a project that you're really proud of, and so it just becomes something that sort of becomes what your life is. And so we put together Elusive as our production company. I think Melissa Holm came up with the name, and we put together our website and started bringing people into the project. Now, how many copies of The Rite of Luna have sold, the DVD? I couldn't tell you the exact number. I don't have them in front of me, but it's over 100. Okay. So, considering that it's an on-demand publication, that's not bad. That's great. And considering that I think only 100 tickets were available when Crowley originally did The Rite of Luna with Paxton Hall, I mean, that's not bad. It's all right. Getting out there exponentially. And if people have never heard about this, they can still go to the site and pick that up off the site, too. It's, as you said, it's on demand, so if people order it, they will create it. Yep, they will. Those are available. Luna soundtracks are available. And it's interesting that as Venus has gotten closer, Luna has started selling better because people want to know what it is we do, and we got a lot of hits on our web-based promotional sites, and so it's going really well. And also, people, when they go to your website, they can see. I guess you during some dress rehearsals, you've recorded some scenes and have that as a preview. Sort of video trailer, actually. We shot it. Our videographer shot it for us and just put together an idea of what sort of a synopsis of the whole story and put it to music for one of the songs, and it came out really cool. And then there are some scenes from Luna that are available for download, and yeah, you can check out a lot of what we do.
Now, how many of the actors from the Rite of Luna are in your Rite of Venus?
Principals, there's myself. I played Pan in Luna, and I will be playing Libra in Venus. Melissa Holm, who played Cancer in Luna, is playing Venus. And Daniel Christensen, who played Taurus in Luna, is playing Saturn in Venus. In fact, he and I have a tango that is just quite something. We went out and had it choreographed, just amazing. And those are the principals who are involved. Also, several of our fairies and fauns have been involved, either on stage or off stage, for part of the project.
So there's actually kind of a whole community building around the production of these.
Oh, absolutely. And it's several of the people who have been involved with the production have later gone on to be involved with the OTO more and become part of our OTO community. A lot of the people who I brought in were not initially aware of or involved with the OTO. They were just people I knew, sort of from the overall pagan community who had an interest and who liked the idea of doing musical theater.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been a nice way to introduce people to Crowley.
Excellent. Now, has there been any local coverage in any of your local media, newspapers or radio or anything like that?
Yeah, we've been on a public access. We've done several promotional shows, like pre-shows at particularly belly dance events, because, of course, we have all these belly dancers on the cast, and they love to go out and perform anyway, and so they've taken some of the original music and gone out and performed it in cabarets. And, but we've got some public access things that have gone on. We've gotten a little bit of coverage here and there, and, again, it just sort of grows slowly.
Great. Well, is there anything else that people should know about it?
Only that I'm really, really proud of this production, and I really hope that they get the opportunity to see it. We will actually be doing some of the music from this production and from Luna and from some of our other rides that we've already started writing music for at Enochian. Mm-hmm. So we'll be showing up there, and that should be fun.
Fantastic.
We look forward to meeting everybody. So come up and say hi.
All right, sounds great. Well, thanks again for being on the podcast and letting people know about what you're doing, and thanks for doing that in the first place. It's good to see this kind of work manifesting in the Thelemic community. Well,
thank you so much for inviting me, and I really appreciate the work you do.
All right, thanks. Well, I'm sure we'll be in touch in the future. 93.
93.
Thanks for being on the show again, Jon. And Jon has given us a little bit of the music that we talked about. So before going into the interview with Keith 418, I'm going to play about a minute's worth of the My Soul is an Enchanted Boat, or it's from Asia in Percy Shelley's Prometheus Unbound. So here's about a minute of that.
My soul and thine doth like an angel sit beside a helm conducting it, whilst all the winds with melody are ringing. It seems to float ever forever upon that many winding river, between mountains, woods, abysses of paradise, of wildernesses.
Thanks again, Jon. I appreciate you sending the music over, and the closing music is also going to be a song from the Rite of Venus. Now we're going to move into the interview with Keith 418. As I said, this is going to be a longer show than usual. So this is a longer interview with Keith. We're going to be talking for about 30 minutes, and we're going to be discussing the leadership of the OTO, how they got there, and kind of, some of the other aspects of the Thelemic community. And then we go off into I don't want to say tangents, but kind of following where the discussion goes off in other areas and looking at class issues and how they have effects within the leadership. So, again, that's about 30 minutes, and those who find Keith's ideas and or voice annoying, feel free to fast forward over that for about 30 minutes. Here he is. We have on the phone with us Keith 418. Welcome back to the podcast, 93.
93, John. Thanks for having me.
Well, It's been a while since you and I talked, and there's been